Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
Prayer. We're
What's
back.
going on?
It's
How are
the
you?
good. It's the Harjit and Prayer show.
Harjit and Prayer show back again.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
last week was rough. I was freezing outside. It's definitely better out today. So I'm
Well,
glad to be doing this.
let me look up. It's right now. It's about 14 degrees,
Ooh,
and it's
that's
dropping overnight to like 4 degrees. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, it's gonna be 4 degrees Fahrenheit.
wow.
That's
Yikes.
cold, man. That's cold.
I don't remember what that feels like.
My driveway is an ice rink.
Is it really? Oh
Yeah,
man.
because it warmed up the other day, so the snow melted, and
hmm
then it froze the next day, so it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
that stinks.
it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, our house in New York, we had a shared driveway, and the neighbor who technically owned it, he was great. He's like, I don't have anything negative to say about the guy. Super nice,
Mhm.
and I mean, like, just I think like the best neighbor you could have. His only idiosyncrasy was the driveway, and whenever it snowed, even though he had a snowblower, he wouldn't use it unless it was the right kind of snow. You know, like the nice fluffy
Uh,
kind,
right.
kind of like sand.
Yeah.
And so most of the time we were out there shoveling snow, and it was horrible because, like, the wet, it'll snow and then rain and then snow again.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst because
Yeah.
each shovel is like, and he wouldn't let me pay to have somebody come and do it. He wouldn't let me pay to somebody either snow blowing or with a truck. We had to do it ourselves. And so
Oh.
it would be like hours and hours and hours of shoveling. But I mean, he was super nice. He's always bringing us baked goods and
Uh-huh.
everything. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I mean, he was a really, really cool guy. Some cool stories, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't miss that in any way, shape, or form.
I know you don't. So anyway, so what's new in the tech world, man?
Couple things. So one thing that I read today is that when the laptop that Microsoft introduced back last year, I forgot when exactly. The with Windows S, the only way to install apps was through the Microsoft Store. So what are you supposed to do about Office? Because you have to run you know, the what is it, click to run installer? I
Yeah,
forgot
the
the
click
exact
click to
term.
run. Yeah.
So you had to use the web interface, which in all instances it's not the best thing to do. And so they made a preview available for deploying Office 2016 through the App Store, but it was a preview. But today they took the preview out, and the full-on Office 2016 suite is available through the App Store. You do have to uninstall your existing, if you want to get it on your like regular machine, you do have to uninstall the your existing apps to see what's going on. So you got to go through some steps. Just read up on the documentation. It doesn't just show up and you have the
Right.
ability to install it. You have to be licensed for it, obviously, because it's tied to your Office 365
So you have to
subscription.
uninstall the desktop versions then too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I think it's a good deal. Honestly, Arjit, I'm really enjoying using the App Store more because
Yeah.
on my Android phone, I don't have to do anything to get stuff updated. It just does it.
Yeah.
And I like that. I don't have to worry about, okay, once a month, do this thing, it just does it.
I
And
like it too.
now all the apps on in the Microsoft Store do the same exact thing. And so now that the Office suite is in there, it's just one less thing I have to think about updating. So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
like so for the laptop, Microsoft Laptop S users with Windows S will probably appreciate that the most. But yeah, so that's there. What do you
Okay.
got?
So today, Windows versions. Are you on the insider builds?
No, I don't want to do that anymore. On my regular machines after some snafus from the end of last year. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have a VM that I run an insider build, and then I've got another machine, an older Dell laptop that I don't mind putting the insider build on, and I actually use it as a production system.
Cool.
I have another one as well, but so I got a backup. But anyway, so I think in the last time we talked, there was a build version 17079, I believe, that came out, and then just a few days before that, there was another version. And today, build 17083 is out. And it's got
Wow.
some really, yeah, it's really, really fast. I mean, you gotta be on top of this stuff. So just highlighting some of the things that are in this build is, you were talking about the App Store. Well, they're incorporating a lot more into the App Store now. For
Hmm.
example, fonts. So now you'll find fonts in a Microsoft Store. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah, that's very
Hmm.
interesting. And what is it? Let me get out here. Yeah, so you'll look up for fonts and you'll go to App Store. It'll give you, preview of the font family, in the different languages and stuff like that. So, we could find one for our Harjit and Prayer show, like the Hindi fonts,
Cool.
So that'll be cool. So they got that stuff. So that's basically going to be in the App Store, like I said. Then they have this thing. Hold on, let me get down here. Oh, so I don't know whether you heard about this, but you know how a lot of people have been, talking about the telemetry data that Microsoft is,
Yes.
sending up, sending down. They don't know what exactly it is, and they want to control it and stuff like that. So in this build, they have that information collected. So, which is going to be coming out, I think, in the full version. I think it's going to be coming out in March or April, from what I read. And it's diagnostics, data improvements, and again, this is also an app on
Okay.
the App Store.
Hmm.
So the way you activate this is actually going to your settings, privacy, diagnostics, and feedback
Hmm.
section. And once you enable the checkbox, it pops up the App Store. You click it, you download it, and then you get all sorts of uh, telemetry data that they're collecting. So they show you what they're collecting, but it right now is more in a binary format.
Okay.
So to the layman, it's kind of like it looks gibberish. You have to like really figure out like what is it saying. What
Okay.
data is that? Yeah.
Got it.
So that's like search functionality and all that fun stuff within that too. So it's pretty cool.
Sweet.
And then they have something called the timeline. They've improved some the timeline stuff where I think
Mhm.
you can check on your history and stuff like that. But
Yep.
users were complaining about they want more control and what is what shows up in the timeline and whether they can delete some of that stuff and all that. So they've made some improvements on that as well.
Okay. Cool.
And then this is an interesting one here. I think have you heard about quiet hours?
Yes.
in
They're
the previous
changing the
version?
name of it, right?
Yeah, they're changing it. So now it's going to be called Focus Assist, and you can set focus on priority, set to alarms, and different things like that.
Okay.
So, and then with Windows Hello, so they made it much more easier to use Windows Hello. Before you had to go like deep into the settings and things like that, and try to find where that is and enable it, and
Sure.
now you can do all of that right from the lock screen.
Okay.
So you can set up your Windows Hello right from your lock screen. That's
Nice.
pretty cool. And what else? What else? So there's some Hyper-V stuff, things like that, and yeah. So that's what I
Sweet.
got.
That's
So
cool.
oh yeah, these are some pretty cool improvements.
Nice. I just when you said Windows Hello, it reminded me of an article I read today. I don't remember. I don't remember the source. It was off my Bing timeline for news, but it says I'm a MacBook user that used a Windows Surface for a week, and they gave a Windows Surface laptop, the Surface Book for a week, and they gave their thoughts on it. And I was like, okay, here it goes. But they were actually quite positive about the whole experience, and I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. That they said the only downside is that their workflow is so tied into the Google framework that it was hard to integrate that with Windows and
Okay.
stuff. But one of the things that kept getting repeated is that it like I can do. There's more available to do in Windows than on a Mac, which I thought was an interesting way of kind of
Oh.
putting it. So I was like, oh wow, I'll have to find it and send it to you. It's a good read.
Oh yeah.
But and, another article that I wanted to reference is this was on Neowin yesterday, but Facebook invented a. I don't know how you invent a time. Not they didn't invent time. They invented a new unit to represent time, and they're calling it a flick, which comes from frame tick, and it's basically. Let me read this. One out of represents 705,600,000th of a second in C++. So nanosecond is 1 billionth of a second. So this is kind of approaching on that. But it's to help developers divide video frame rates in a way so that they don't end up in fractions. So, for example, one frame is, a single frame at 30 frames per second. It has an exact duration of 23,500,000 and I'm not supposed to say and. I can't. From elementary school, they said never say and. 23,520,000 flicks. So instead of 33 million. 33 billion, 333,333,000. Yeah. So it's basically helped them divide.
So what's the purpose of this?
It's going to make this kind of alludes to what is coming in Facebook land, but it helps the folks that are developing things for film and VR code in a more elegant way. So it's like, okay, what are you guys working on that you need this kind of stuff? So also one thing of note, my coworker brought up this week that he has seen a dramatic decrease in the price of Windows augmented reality headsets, by 50%. So if somebody's looking to get one of those, check the prices out this week because they've all of a sudden come down a significant amount. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I discovered today, and I shared it with the crew, Surface Books, original Surface Books are at almost 50% off on Amazon, which is like really, really crazy prices. So we're looking at, what is this? From like $1,800 now they're like $900 and things like that. So 50% off, and
nice.
I don't know how long the sale is going to be on, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Most people I know that have that original absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, they have different variations. The Intel Core i7 and the i5s, and the different memory sizes and things like that. So, and yeah, we can put that in the under video here, and then if it's still available, they can go get it, I guess.
Gotcha. That's cool.
So yeah, so that's cool. What else? So that's some pretty good tech info here for this week. Did you want to talk about Sous Vide by any chance?
Dude, I don't know how to say it. Sousvide, 2 words. I think it's Sous Vide. Yeah, so within our circle of friends, we're a lot of our friends are into Sous Vide, and I apologize if I'm hammering the name, but basically you put uncooked meat in a bag with seasoning, spices, all that kind of stuff, and then you immerse the bag in water, and then you put this unit in, which basically keeps the water at a constant temperature. So you cook the meat over a very, very long period of time at a lower temperature than you would on a grill, and that kind of a thing. And so it eventually cooks. But because you're using this constant heat, you get like the perfect medium, whatever temperature steak you want. If you want it rare, medium, whatever, you get the perfect um, piece of cooked meat out of it. The thing is, it looks super ugly
Right,
when you
right.
take it out, and so you have to do something to kind of make it more presentable. Normal people would put it on like a grill and just really quickly sear it,
Sear it, yeah.
but my one of my coworkers actually took a blowtorch and seared it. When I saw it happening, I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm doing this for the." So, but it was really good. I had a little tiny piece of it. I'm not much of a pork guy, and so I had it, and I'm like, "Man, that was really, really good." And he had really amazing seasonings on it, which really kind of brought it out. But definitely, like looking at the piece of meat on looking on the
Yeah, it
inside of it,
looks.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is rare."
It doesn't have any color, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
So
yeah.
he's gonna do chicken next. I'm kind of looking forward to that. See how that comes out. But
Well,
yeah,
well, what intrigued me was he was doing this at work, bringing it for lunch and stuff. So,
yep,
well, it's not a bad idea. I mean, you start it in the morning and then you have it for lunch, and but using a blowtorch.
yeah, that was awesome. That
That's
was
awesome.
amazing. Yep, but yeah, it was really super nice of him to do that for us. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, we got some friends that do that. So,
cool.
yeah.
Yep.
I think Henrik is into it, right?
Yeah.
Henrik and Dean and all these guys.
Yep. They live in Canada, so
They're Canadians, yeah.
yeah, they got to do weird things with their food.
So, any other news?
Um, I think I haven't really paid attention much this week. At all. Oh, what?
Well, I remember I talked to you last week and I said there were a couple of announcements for the config manager stuff, and sure enough, it did come out.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, so there was a hot fix for current branch 1710 that fixes a few things, and then the tech preview 1801
Oh, wow.
it came out as well. So I'm in the middle of the process of writing some blog posts for these. There are tons of other blog posts out there, but I just want to try to capture some of this information for my own good and stuff. So
Sure.
I'll, I'll try to get that out. But yeah,
Sweet.
1801 looks pretty good. There's what was it? What did they call it? Uh, anyways, it'll be in a blog post.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's all I got for this week. So, and it looks like we're cranking these shows up pretty consistently now. So,
Trying to.
anybody, yeah,
Absolutely.
and so if anybody wants us to talk about something specific and stuff like that, just let us know.
Yep.
And oh, and you discovered something about Canada. Uh,
Dude, yeah, so they really have a Coast Guard. And I went to the website, I followed their Twitter account, followed their Facebook profile. They're quite active. And they actually have an inventory of their fleet. And so I'm like, oh, wow, let's check out what they have. And they don't have any kayaks, they don't have any
no
canoes.
kayaks.
Yeah, man, they got some big boats, though, for real.
So
So
what if they have to rescue someone on a pond or something?
I don't know. That might be like the local guys on the horses. What are they called? I forgot. The
Monkeys.
Monties. Monties. I think. I don't know. Like Coast Guard is the ocean and stuff. But if
Oh,
it was actually a really cool. I felt bad, kind of poking fun at them because they're doing some seriously amazing work.
yeah, they are.
So like I didn't realize like how much traffic goes in and out of Canada over on the ocean. There is a significant amount, and so like all that.
It's one of the world's busiest channels, the
Yep.
St. Lawrence Seaway. Yeah, I don't
So
know whether you've been up towards Quebec, but when you look at this river, it's like you basically can't see the other end. I mean, it's that wide.
mhm.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So lots of traffic. Yeah, they're doing great. Good job, Coast Guard in
Yes.
Canada. So all right, man. I guess we'll end this. And until next time, I'm Harjit, and you'll find me on Twitter as at Hoorge, Hoorge.
And I'm Prayer. You can find me on Twitter at IT Prayer.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bork, bork, bork. York.